I'm getting much better at this. So I'm recording a series of videos associated with Noble Ape IO, and I wanted to explain how things were initially. So the Noble Ape Simulation has typically been built bottom-up from the Noble Toolkit, which has all the low-level math and memory and IO stuff with regards to file handling and all this kind of stuff. Then you have the underlying entity simulation, which contains the brain code, the events, the social simulation, also the historical identity and desire brain simulation. You have the broader simulation that contains the file format, the console logic, basically everything that you need to run a simulation. And then on top of this is a GUI and occasionally combined a GUI and a command line environment, or standalone GUI, standalone command line environment. And then on top of this is, whether it's Mac, Windows, Linux, iPad, just basically the platform-specific stuff on top of that. So this is the way Noble Ape has been for many years now, with the view that the various components, I'm always working on some aspect of the Noble Toolkit, or one of these other components. The Noble Toolkit also is used, so basically this layer is interchanged for Noble Warfare and the Mushroom Boy. And although these are slightly different, this layer maintains. So really these two layers are changed for Noble Warfare and the Mushroom Boy, but always the Noble Toolkit on the bottom, and then whatever's platform specific up here. Now, in maybe 2010, Bob Bottram created a web server version of the simulation, which was basically had its own kind of GUI and then had a web server associated with it. I haven't taken any of that code. I've started afresh with Noble Ape IO. So what Noble Ape IO does is breaks this basically along this line and adds a JSON layer for the communication here. So this becomes a standalone client app, and this is a server app. And the aim after this has been broken, and you've got the JSON layer communicating the stuff that's needed up and down, is that these individual components can then become their own services. So all this is currently written, up until here at least, in C. The addition of the JSON layer doesn't change that. All the server code still is written in C initially. But then you can rewrite it, because the interface is what's defined, in Node.js or whatever you want to do. So the aim is to put this layer online, basically, and then make the client source available as well, with the view that if folks want to rewrite the client source, so much the better as well. So it basically splits the simulation in half and enables these parts of the simulation to become their own services, and that could look in a wide variety of different ways. But the aim initially is just to describe the spec, to provide example client, example server, and that, in a nutshell, is what Noble Ape IO is. Now, what makes it particularly powerful is you can then start feeding in real-world data. So rather than running it as a simulation, you could say, let's put in actual humans and how they move, and let's see how predictive this thing can be. And that, I think, is going to be particularly exciting. Anyway, this is Noble Ape IO. It's the fastest possible way that I have had to describe it, having had maybe half a dozen failed videos. So I hope you enjoy this.